Fox News can project that Vermont's Patrick Leahy, the longest-serving Democrat in the Senate, will win an 8th term, vanquishing Republican businessman Scott Milne. Fox also projects that Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina will beat Democratic challenger Thomas Dixon.
I love vanquishing.
I mean, they just get the best words, don't they?
From the decision desk. We are also ready to project that Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who dropped his own bid for the GOP presidential nomination in February, will win by beating Democratic challenger Jim Gray, based on our Fox News exit polls and early vote tallies. In Georgia, Republican Senator Johnny Isakson is ahead of his Democratic challenger, Jim Barksdale, but he must garner more than 50% of this vote to avoid a runoff, as required by Georgia law. And so far, we're not ready to make a projection in that race.
And that may not bode well for getting above the 50%. The runoff is January 10th, so imagine that it's so close that you have to go.
Stop.
Finally.
Stop that. We don't want to hear anything about we don't want to hear about the election extending beyond this evening.
Let's not talk about it. Finally, we do not yet know whether Indiana Democrat Evan Bayh, who retired from the Senate 6 years ago, will be able to win back his old seat by defeating Republican Congressman Todd Young, who currently is ahead in the early vote tallies. The seat currently held by Republican Dan Coats, who's retiring. So Bayh victory would obviously give Democrats an important pickup there. They thought this was going to be the pickup that was going to enable them to get on a path to taking control of the Senate. And, Britt, I tell you what, this race turned very quickly. They started painting Evan Bayh as a lobbyist who was out, he was,
and then
out of the state.
Right, out of the state. Didn't really have a home there. And that hurts. That can really hurt you with people if they think you're a faker. Evan Bayh is a very well qualified guy, though. He was a senator earlier, and he was governor, and his father was the same. So he obviously had a leg up in that state, but it's a pretty red state. So it's all along seemed to me to state that the Republicans could hold.
Who's watching this? I think this race is Joe Donnelly, who's up in 2 years. Right. He's the other Democrat senator from Indiana. If Evan Bayh, with the biggest name ever in Indiana, can't win on an election year, midterms are going to be tough for Joe Donnelly.
Well, and of course, as we've talked about in this coming midterm, it's 25 Democratic seats up, only 8 Republicans. So it's basically the reverse of what we have now, the flip of what we have now.